up, a-holes? Thank you for tuning in to the Holistic A-Hole podcast. My name is Eric Levi, and I'm the Holistic A-Hole. How the hell are you doing out there in podcast land? Are you doing good? If you are, if you're not, it don't matter, because you come to the right place. If you feel good, I'm putting out those feeling good vibes. If you're not feeling good, I'm going to get you to rise up to my level because I feel pretty goddamn good. And thank you for listening. Thank you for choosing the Holistic A-Hole podcast out of all the podcasts you have to choose from. The podcast world is a vast ocean of people talking by themselves like crazy people. And you've chosen my channel to spend your next few moments. So thank you. If this is your first time here, take a hot second, hit the subscribe button right there in your podcast player. You know it's right there. I know you know it's right there. So just hit the button, subscribe. That way, every time this podcast drops, you get the fresh right there in your mailbox. The fresh, not your mailbox, your feed. You get the fresh, hot podcast stylings right there in your podcast feed, so you don't miss a minute. And check out other places I'm at. Twitter, at Holistic A-Hole. Instagram, Holistic_A_hole. Facebook, Holistic A-Hole, if Facebook's still going to be around. Let's just keep doing it until it's no longer there, which I think is going to become sooner than later, unfortunately. Unfortunately, we should do a podcast episode about Facebook. Because, man, is Facebook not just like the best of times and the worst of times? Definitely for me, for sure. But you can check me out on Facebook. I got the YouTube channel popping again. That's how this whole thing started, by the way, was the YouTube channel. And then I stopped doing it for a little bit, and now I'm back doing videos. And my new videos are going to be way funnier than the other videos. I think they say it takes you like, I don't know, like 50 or 100 videos to even like kind of get good at videos. So hang on, baby, because we're going to figure it out. But I'm doing videos again, so check out the YouTube channel, Holistic A-Hole. And, of course, tune in every Tuesday and Friday when this podcast is released. Okay, I'd said I'm feeling good. I feel great. I got a scented candle lit. I'm creating a different vibe here in the Holistic A-Hole studios. Scented candle, delivering some nice soy scents, whatever that is. Soy scent. It smells delicious. It smells like a classroom, kind of. Like a classroom that just got cleaned. Remember that? Like you walk in the classroom and it was like that nice, fresh smell. It wasn't too chemically, but you knew it was definitely not good for your brain. It smells kind of like that. Except this is an all-natural candle, so I don't have to sweat any kind of genetically modified candle action. Whoa, okay. So, what do I want to talk about today? Here's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about dieting and just this whole concept of dieting that I don't really get it. I don't get dieting. It's never been my thing, but it's huge. Everybody's doing diets. Most people are either doing diets or saying they're going to go on diets. Everybody you talk to, it's like, I can't eat that because I'm on a diet. Or it's like, I'm going to eat all that because I'm going to start a diet real soon. And they never work. They work for a little bit. Like everybody, like I've gotten results from diets. Everybody I know has gotten results from diets. But the thing is those diets results very quickly go away. Oh man, supposed to be timing this. My phone's all the way across the room and I can't reach it. Oh my God, we're going to do this. Gonna have to do this old school style. Just watch the clock, remember the time. All right, here we go, brain. Double duty, podcast, and remember to watch the clock. So what were we talking about? Diets. I just don't subscribe to any particular diet. I think most of them are just out there to make money. That's what they are. Everybody now, and it's not just diets, it's meal plans, it's, like life coaches. It's all the same shit. Everyone's, it's like this self-improvement thing. Got to go on a diet, got to lose weight, which is weird too, that our goal is to lose weight. Like, weight is not the problem for most people. I think that's just a number that we've just kind of arbitrarily put in our heads a long time ago, that was the factor. As long as you had your weight, watching the scale, the weight is just a number. It's just a metric, but it's not the main. It shouldn't be the main metric. Not when it comes to your health. There's plenty of people who are heavy, who are really healthy. There's plenty of people who are unhealthy and don't weigh a lot. So it's like, and dieting really, I think, puts a lot of pressure on you. So it's not just like, do you weigh this? It's like, if you weigh like a couple pounds more than what you feel you should weigh, like that can really bring you down. And it shouldn't. It shouldn't, because that's, there's people who will freak out because they're 173 and not 170. And it's like, you're 173, 3 pounds out of 173. That's really not that much. What is that, like 1/60th or something? Pretty close. 1/60th of you. You're like, you're freaking out. You're like, oh my God, I have to go on a diet. Or if you're 20 pounds overweight. Typically, the weight is just like it's just a byproduct of, of what you've been doing. If you've been eating garbage, probably what's happening is your body is storing it as fat. If you go on a little bender, but your default is health, then it's okay, because you'll always be able to get back. Like, I know I can always get back. I can like gain a few pounds. I'll even lose too much weight, but I can always get back to where I am, And some people can't do that. Some people, they get down and then it's gone. It's like you're holding on to like a balloon with 5 times the amount of hydrogen, whatever the chemical is that makes it real light. Not hydrogen, helium. It's filled with 5 times as much helium, and it's like you're holding on for dear life for that thing to not fly out of your hands. And that's what you're doing when you lose weight from a regular diet. You're just down. Yeah, there's plenty of people have gone to Weight Watchers and done that, lost, 20, 30 pounds. I've never seen anybody lose a monumental amount from Weight Watchers. I'm sure they're out there. But typically, I know people who have lost like 20, 30, 40, maybe at the most pounds from Weight Watchers. And it's a weird system. I don't understand it. Points, giving food points, I guess I get that. But I think when you live in this world of like moderation, instead of just going full bore for it, that's the problem. The problem is the sense of urgency isn't there. That's why these diets fail. They have these baked in cheat days. I think cheat days are terrible. You don't really want, if you're on a diet, to do anything but what your focus is. What is your focus? To lose weight? Then live your life 100% in the mindset of losing weight. If you're on a diet and you're working your balls off to lose 20, 30 pounds, but then you're like, okay, well, I've eaten just so good for the last month. Let me have a day where I just fucking go crazy. Eat a burger, just a big fucking cheesy omelet, ice cream, whatever that is. And it's like, you do it, but then you have to go back to dieting. And I think we're not going to look at it like this in the future. But that, by the way, is like why people will lose weight, but then they'll gain it right back, because they gave themselves like that little taste, that little taste. So when you're done with the diet and when you have that mental thing where you're like, all right, I made it, usually people are trying to do it for like an event or something. And then it's like you get to that goal and you get to that weight, and then you just, like the balloon, you just let it go. You're like, all right, we did it. And then you're like, okay, well, dude, I could have like a little ice cream. 2 weeks later, you're slamming fucking pints down every single day, maybe 2 a day. That's what happens to us as humans. We just lose control. At the same time, you can't just diet all the time. And that's the problem with diets. Because whatever your lifestyle is, that's your lifestyle. If you're how am I going to do this? If you're like a Broadway musical performer, as in like you play the music, you're in the band. What do they call it? The orchestra pit. If you play in the orchestra on Broadway, you're a cello player. That's who you are. You're a cello player. But you can't just be like, well, just a couple times I'm gonna go be the lead actor or actress, and you go and you just try to do something completely different. That's what diets are. Diets are you just trying to not at all allow yourself to work as who you are. You have to basically, if you want to lose weight, you want to be a different person. You're going to lose part of you. You're going to lose weight, you're going to lose part of your body. So you have to adjust, It takes time. The thing is with diets, it's like the 12 weeks lose 12 pounds. You can lose 12 pounds. You could lose 12 pounds in a week easily. You just fast. You just not eat anything. And actually, the thing about fasting is if you're heavy, like if you're obese, fasting is really the best thing you can do. And it's once you get over the hill of it being shitty, because it'll get shitty. There will be days of being shitty, but if you get over those hills, you'll feel great. You'll just be in just straight up ketosis, and your body's just working off all the stored fat. You'll lose fat. I mean, you'll lose probably at least a couple pounds a day, easily, and you won't feel shitty. You'll feel really shitty for the first couple days, but you don't feel hungry. You don't feel shitty. You feel great. But nobody's making money off of fasting. You can't. And at the same time, you can't expect people to fast. So what is like the big thing, right? In the future, now keep in mind, man, like I should probably say this at the beginning of every podcast, but I am not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a dude who really enjoys learning about health and nutrition, and I've read a lot. I've learned a lot. I watched a lot. I've changed my mind on things, on a lot of stuff. I don't have a chemistry background. I don't have a biology background. I just understand kind of what things are from a fucking real dummy's perspective. And you can take what I want however you want. If you agree, if you disagree, just please don't take it as, medical recommendations or anything. This is how I live my life. Whatever you decide to do, clear it with your doctor. That's how I feel. That being said, I think in the future, people aren't going to worry about diets. It's not going to be about diets. It's going to be about your gut microbiome. How do you treat your gut microbiome? Because from what I understand, it's the single most important part of your body. Although it's not really, like, your microbiome is not a part of your body. It's a system. Your gut microbiome, specifically, though, is basically what's keeping you alive. You have your heart. That's physically keeping you alive. But your gut microbiome is making your body really kind of like, it's like the conductor of everything subconscious, we should say. Your rest and digest. So how you treat your gut is going to affect so much about your physical body. Because basically, for instance, in your gut, you have bugs, all of these bacteria, bugs, just a whole ecosystem of fucking crazy bacteria, all different kinds, and there's all crazy shit. We don't even know. We've just barely learned that they're down there. We don't know what they're doing, what they're saying. They're communicating. Bacteria is communicating. All this crazy stuff's happening. Your gut bacteria is eating the stuff. It's eating the stuff that you're eating. Like, you're eating plants. If you're plant-based, the fiber. Your gut bacteria eats the fiber coming in through the plants and the fruits and the vegetables and the seeds and the beans and all that stuff, right? It's eating the fiber, and then it's shitting out all the good stuff for your body. Butyrate, it's sending something out that kind of like communicates to your immune system to, keep it cool, not to lose control and cause any anti-immunity. Your gut bacteria, dude, is doing a lot. And we talked about this a couple episodes ago when I was talking about the guts of comics I know. All of the gut diseases that we have come from the standard American diet, the SAD diet. That's what it is, the standard American diet, SAD. How crazy is that? I think that's is that a Freudian slip or karma or whatever you call it? Ain't it funny? Isn't it just a funny coincidence that the standard American diet, the most toxic diet ever given to man, ever, of any diet, other than fucking mid-century Europe, when all the food was infested with rat poop and they all got, the plague? Our food is doing a very similar thing. It's creating diseases called cancer, called diabetes, heart disease. That's our plague. Those are our plagues. The Black Plague. Yeah, SAD. That's what it is. SAD. So, but you have your gut bacteria. Most people's gut bacteria is bad guts. People who have like Crohn's, SIBO, all these, fucking terrible just gut diseases. Even hemorrhoids, colon cancer. Oh man, dude. Nobody wants that. Your gut bacteria is what's controlling all that. Also keep in mind, dude, your gut bacteria is controlling your DNA. It's controlling, it's communicating to your brain. 90% of the serotonin that's in your brain is made in your gut. Think about that. Your gut is communicating to your brain through the vagus nerve and all the, the gut's, basically telling the brain like, hey, this is what's up with the body, just so you know. And send you some good serotonin love. We're able to do that down here because we're nice and clean. We've got a good amount of nutrients coming in. But when you eat the standard American diet, you're not getting those good nutrients. And then you just poison You poison the bacteria in your gut, and all these bugs plant there, and they're the ones causing, a lot of your autoimmunity. They're causing, just full on stomach issues. This is why so many people have stomach issues, because of these fucking shit bugs, bacteria. Also, keep in mind, they control a lot of your cravings. There's sugar bacteria that crave sugar. Some people call it candida. I've heard mixed things about this candida thing, so I'm not 100% sure. Candida is basically like a yeast overgrowth. I think that's what it is. Yeast? Yeah, it's yeast. You have yeast in your gut. The funny thing is some of you are like, yeah, man, this totally makes sense. I've heard smart people talk about this before. And some of you are like, this dude's out of his mind. What's he talking about? We never learned about this in 5th grade health class. Yeah, I know. I've done the research. So you either don't have to, or it sparks your interest and you go research this stuff. It's absolutely amazing, since they've mapped out the human microbiome. They know a lot of stuff about us, man. It's insanity. So once we as a, people decide, okay, how do we get more performance out of our gut bacteria? We start figuring out what foods are best for your gut, right? Plant-based, dude. 100% without a doubt, plant-based. Fruits, vegetables, lentils, peas, beans, starches, good starches, sweet potatoes, what are those things called? Plantains, all that stuff. But you're probably like, dude, Eric, we've heard that potatoes, right? That's like white bread, right? No, actually not at all. Here's the thing that led me to this podcast, is in thinking about these diets. There's actually this diet basically known as the potato diet. And it's exactly what you think it is. It's just you eat nothing but potatoes. And I'm reading this book by Penn Gillette called PRESTO. If you got a library card, go rent it from the library or go buy it on Amazon. I'll put a link. I don't know why I led with the library. That shouldn't have been the first option. Most people don't want to go to the library. It's a huge pain in the ass. I got it from the library. I'm pretty sure I found at least a few hairs that weren't mine in there. Pretty gross. Probably pubes. But yeah, it's a good book. PRESTO, Penn Gillette. I'll actually put a Amazon link to the book. It's my affiliate link. So, if you're like, we love you, Eric, but we don't want to send you money right through the mail, what you could do is you could buy this book, PRESTO, which you were going to do anyways, and just go through my affiliate link right there on the show notes on the podcast. So just buy it right there on your phone. Buy the book, PRESTO by Penn Gillette. It's really good. Penn is talking about, and by the way, I'm not like a huge Penn and Teller fan. I'm not really a magic person, but, I can respect this dude. Tells an interesting story, very good writer. And he's like, look, he lost 100 pounds. 100 pounds. He lost it a few different ways. He lost it like on a low carb thing, like the first, I think like 15 or 20. And then he ate nothing but potatoes for like, I think 3 months or so. I think 2 months, actually. No, 2 weeks. 2 weeks he did nothing but potatoes. And then from there, like, created a diet that was like, kind of more vegan-ish. But that's not the first potato diet I've heard that's gone well. There's this dude on YouTube named SpudFit who I heard about through the found him online, whatever. And this dude lost a lot of weight. I think at least 100 pounds. He might have been in like the 150, 200 pound range. I mean, he lost a lot of weight. SpudFit. And all he did was eat potatoes every single day. Potatoes, sweet potatoes, potatoes. And that's when I got into this dude, John McDougall, who, all the vegans know who he is. Interesting. I've read his book, The Starch Solution. It's a real good book, all about eating nothing but potatoes. And I guess it works. People, don't know what they're talking about when they tell you not to eat potatoes. I get it. White bread, don't eat it. White sugar, even like, white salt, right? Flour, don't eat it. But potatoes, they're just fine. They provide your body a lot of nutrition, a lot of water, and I guess they don't register high on the glycemic index. I'm not really sure the science of it, but Penn lost a lot of weight just eating nothing but potatoes, eating mostly potatoes. SpudFit lost a lot of weight eating nothing but potatoes. I, for a little while, was doing not nothing but potatoes, but a lot of potatoes. I still do kind of like a lot of starch. I'm actually getting more into it because I've kind of veered off and tried these other, not diets, but like a little keto, I guess paleo. I guess I would call myself like a flexitarian, even though that doesn't sound, I'm not comfortable with the way that sounds. But, I'm 98% plant-based. But, if a little non-plant-based pops up, I'm not going to say no. That's just what I'm fine with that. I don't need to be a psychotic vegan. There's no point. Even I know people who are vegan who aren't 100% vegan. Like, I could do 100% vegan. I'm doing it right now. I could do it anytime I want, and I actually prefer it. But if I'm out somewhere and, if it's like, okay, this is going to be a pain in the ass to be vegan right now, I'm just not going to be vegan. It's totally fine. I'm still going to go with the healthy option, but sometimes I might not. I might have a burger. I might, if I'm somewhere. I live in New York City, man. I don't live in your shit town where everybody just follows the same diet. I live in New York City. And there's good food fucking everywhere. But I'm actually very good at like not succumbing to any of that stuff. Because really, man, here's the thing, and Penn talks about this in his book, is when you decide like, okay, hey, I'm going to make a real change. I'm going to eat plant-based, and I really want to lose weight. The first thing you do is fix your gut microbiome so you no longer crave sugar. So you no longer crave fat. You no longer crave salts. When you basically like numb down, I think like all of the standard American diet has numbed down the senses, the ability to taste like real food, the ability to smell food. When you switch your microbiome around and you're getting all that good microbiome bacteria in there and all the bad bacteria is out, you don't crave that shit. You don't crave shit food anymore. And when you eat the shit food, it tastes like shit. It tastes like shit. Before, it didn't taste like shit. It tasted great. I can't eat like real ice cream anymore. I've been ruined. Real ice cream is no longer an option for me. I can't. Like, I'll try it, and I know it'll be way too sweet for me. I don't like it. I eat ice cream made from bananas every single day, and I maintain basically the same weight. So I guess, like, in closing, the reason I wanted to talk about this was because, as much as I sit here and kind of toot my own horn about how educated I am on this stuff, it's also really fucked me up because I've read arguments on both sides of the health debate. I've read, like I said, I came into the health debate erring towards plant-based, and then I said, you know what? I read a bunch of stuff on paleo. I've read a bunch of stuff on high-fat diets and keto, and I want to be down with it. I want to be down with it because it's so easy. It'd be so much easier than being a vegan. It's so much easier just to go out and get slabs of meat and eat that shit than to eat plants and get one thing on a menu. You eat meat, 98% of a menu in any restaurant is for you. When you're vegan, it's like there's one thing with no meat, and it's usually just vegetables. Great. Cool. Although sometimes if you ask the chef, if you ask the waiter, hey, can you just tell the chef I'm a vegan, so whatever you can put together, sometimes you'll get some pretty dope-ass shit, for sure. But, I read all that paleo stuff. They have a lot of science on their side. But then you listen to the vegans. Google the USDA Great Nutrition Debate on YouTube and decide for yourself. Because in that debate, they put these famous scientists or doctors, right? They're all doctors who have written books and have their own quote unquote diets. And they go from everywhere from Atkins was on there. If you want to see what Atkins looks like and then tell me that you want to do some sort of Atkins diet, I call you crazy because Atkins does not look good. He does not look good. But they start from Atkins and they go from high fat to they go through 7 different doctors, and it just progressively gets less high fat, more plant-based until they get to Dr. McDougall. There was one other doctor, and then Dr. Dean Ornish, who's the godfather, I guess, of maybe not the godfather, but one of the pillars of plant-based. And quite frankly, I didn't think he looked great either. But I thought Atkins looked remarkably bad. So yeah, check that out and then decide for yourself what diet you think is best or what lifestyle or whatever. It's not really a hard decision, I'll tell you that. But yeah, I've read all that shit, and both sides make good arguments. Both sides will tell you everything great about their diet and tell you every reason why, insert diet here is not good. Everyone has their reasons for saying high carbs are bad, high fat's bad. But the evidence, I think, speaks for itself. And there's no doubt plant-based is the best way. Specifically, if you can figure out a way to make it so that you can get off all of your high sugar, high salt, high fat foods and go plant-based. I say this because that's what plant-based is good for. Plant-based is filling enough to where it makes it easier if you're doing meat 7 days a week or animal products 7 days a week, and you want to maybe not cut all the way, but at least it's better to just kind of incrementally get off. So it's if you're doing meat out of 21 meals a week, if you're doing animal products, 18 or 17, try to get down to 10. Try to get down to 5, try to get down to 2, try to get down to nothing. Have 1 or 2 a week. And plant-based, you live off of beans, you live off of mushrooms, you live off of, plenty of stuff. Potatoes, sweet potatoes. You'll lose a lot of weight very quickly. And you won't feel starved like you do on other diets. So that's what I have to say about that. So I have no idea how long this has taken, but it's getting to be about that time, everybody. So if you enjoyed the podcast, do me a huge favor. Go on to iTunes, leave me a 5-star review. Say something nice in the comments. Find me on social media. Say what's up on Twitter, @HolisticAhole. Instagram. Tag me in a picture. Holistic_A_hole. Facebook, as long as it's around, find me there, Holistic A-Hole. Most importantly, go check out my YouTube channel, Holistic A-Hole. You guys, thanks for tuning in. Catch up on episodes you haven't heard before. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell those you love the most about the Holistic A-Hole podcast. I appreciate your love. Sending love right back at you. Have a great weekend. Peace.